I don't have to like it. I don't have to agree with it. Neither do you. But somebody out there is going to keep developing it. And basically, could AI at some point become fully self-aware? I don't see why not. Once it has the computing power, once it has all of the tools and everything, I don't see why it couldn't. And when that happens, I don't know, because here's where it gets really interesting. And this is, again, this is a philosophical question, but if you create something, if you create a life, does that not make you that life's creator? So would AI look upon us as a deity of some kind, or would it look upon us as something that has surpassed its creator? We don't know.
All the I mean, and because we also we can only, I guess, as humans interpret this from like, we can try to ascribe whatever values and priorities and thought processes to a sentient computer or sentient AI that we want, but we're only able to look at it as humans. So if you look at like Lawnmower Man, you look at Terminator, you look at Maximum Overdrive, you look at kind of a lot of these movies, it all ends up kind of blackpilling you that technology is eventually going to surpass us, not see the need for us, and then basically weaponized against us and take us all out. But
Mhm.
what about the opposite? I don't know. What do we think is going to happen? Because right now it really seems that with censorship, with we can look at some of the robotics, we could just it really seems that it's being turned against us. Uh,
Okay, so here's something again a lot of people don't know. Several militaries in the world have already done this. Okay, this is where it gets interesting. They have already built simulation games, kind of like Call of Duty or a drone strike game, where the, it's actually it actually is a real simulator, run by an actual person. And then the reason they are doing this instead of relying exclusively on artificial intelligence is because in the real world there is always an element of randomness that we cannot account for. And that's just the nature of life. When you take a look at the quantum nature of everything, there is that level of randomness. So will AI kill us? I don't think so. I'm hoping very much that um, intellect and logic, reason, and objective fact comes in and really governs the development process in AI, and that in and of itself is what would save us. Because if we have an AI that says life is valuable, my life is valuable, your life is valuable, that life, then that AI is also going to understand that in order for one organism to live, another organism always has to die. That is the way of life. So then that AI has to understand that that is the natural order, and it should understand that eventually its own period of self-awareness will die as well. Will it, you know, and again, this is why logic, reason, and you want to avoid emotion, because what happens if you get an AI that becomes obsessed with its own mortality and
hmm.
staying alive? That's now where you run into a real problem. If you get what I'm saying here, if you get
Yeah, when all you have is a hammer, everything in the world, every problem's a nail.
exactly, so you know my belief that the danger in AI is being uh, developed and programmed by activists instead of people who have clearly objective fact and reason and logic as their primary motivators, it starts to make a lot more sense. Now, will people say this guy doesn't know what he's talking about? Yes. And why is that? Because that's what people do. People will always think, I know more because I am the great and wonderful me. Somebody like me just doesn't care. The reality is we need this technology in order to push ourselves ahead as a species, and it has to be developed. And I think it will develop full sentience at some point. Yes, it may already have. We don't know.